Aries, welcome to Deep Heights. My name is Deborah. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to do a lost and found reading for you. And before we get started, I just want to apologize for the noise. My niece is a 3-year-old tyrant. She's a three-nager and she's running around. So if you hear her, it's just her being a 3-year-old and everyone else around her. As I sat down to do your reading, the first energy that I got before I had laid any cards down was one for you to exercise caution, which I found interesting. And when I was doing the pre-shuffle and the the Bodacious Bodak and the Unity card came out, and I feel like you've you're experiencing. I almost feel it's like you're getting bombed or you've been bombed, and that's disrupted your sense of being. And as I laid the cards out for the lost and found, it's understandable. So what we have lost is the topsy-turvets, the death, and we have a list of the shadows. And I feel like your recent past experiences, and really those throughout your life, have been a series of changes, a series of rebirths. And one thing with this list of the shadows, it's spelled Lys, pronounced list, but like lies. And it's like the lies of the shadows of our mind as we go through these transformative experiences. I feel that you've overcome them, and you've overcome your fear of death, that you're no longer afraid of the whispers of the shadows, even when it's unexpected, that the warrior within you, this latest battle that you've gone through, has brought you so close and really indeed far beyond the edge of your own self, your own sanity, your own mortality, I want to say, that you're no longer afraid. What's found is himself, the fairy who was kissed by the pixies, and Caitlin the sylph came out reversed. And this is like a full stop. And I feel like you found yourself in a full stop and stillness, almost meditative, transcendental, transcending the fear, transcending the movement, that Martian need for speed, for war, for will, headbutting, coming up against, that you're still. And an image that I got was of Gimli in the mines of Moria when the goblins are coming and Gimli stands up and he's like, "Let them come." That you're no longer afraid. You have no fear, and it's in a different way than it's a recklessness where you had been perhaps reckless with your mortality or with your life in the past. You are no longer reckless. You are a warrior. You are fulfilling this emperor energy of yourself, this leadership within yourself, that your house is in order. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Singer of Configuration, and at the split, we have She of the Cruach. And Cruach can mean in Scott Gaelic haystack or pile. It can also mean steel in Irish, and like a mountain. But I feel like the images here are so similar. Sorry, my dog's licky looing. The images are so similar, and that you found something like this needle in the haystack where you've had to be very still. And then what do we use a needle for? We use it to sew, to create, to bring things together, this garment. And I feel like it's your spiritual garment that has been created. And this Singer of Transfiguration, this across the figure, across spirit, across the body, the spiritual body, the psychological body, the emotional body, the physical body. I feel like whatever you've experienced has been almost like the near-death experience, or perhaps a death experience in whatever way that would resonate for you, but it's changed you, and you found a stillness, a calm, and a peace in that. The Singer of Transfiguration is 11, and the She of the Cruach is 5, so I think of Taurus here, Tauran energy, and then of course the 11 of the Adjustment card. A lot of Venusian energy, which is your opposite, but Venus in her warlike mode. But Venus, I like to think of Mars, Aries as the warrior, and Venus, this Venusian Libra, as the sword. Like you have your sword, you have your clarity, Like you have Excalibur. And below that we have the Singer of Courage and the Lady of the Harvest, this fall energy that we are in now. Bravely using that sword there that's given to you by the Lady of the Harvest. That lake, that ability to reflect. Really interesting energy. This is quite exceptional. Is the many layers. I was sitting in this energy, just looking at it and kind of meditating in it, and I think this tail in the sylph being reversed is significant because, like, I have Mars in the 8th house. I'm going like a strong Mars. I'm ready to go. These processes of truth and investigation, so I can understand that I'm ready to go. And then having to be still, and the stillness that you found here with himself, it's like the swords of your spirit, of your mind, and of your heart are on fire. They're blazing from within, and it's happiness, this joy that comes from life, the joy of the stillness and enjoying life, and not just going through it, not just speeding through it. That I'm hung up on this death experience, this brush with death, this brush with mortality, and with himself, and this she who was kissed by the pixies. I think of like Virgoan energy, this Capricornian energy of the earth, Tauran energy as well, this earth energy. You may have that in your chart. I do feel like you have this Martian energy, but this very groundedness as well, that your feet are firmly planted on the ground. And you're taking care of your body, of your health now has become much more important. And this caution that I was wanting to warn you about is to really take your time and care. And what are you putting into your body? Not just your physical body, but what you're eating and consuming, but what are you reading? Because, or the knowledge, this death card, he's holding something, and the first thing I thought of was he's holding an apple. That apple of knowledge. What are you doing with the knowledge? The knowledge that you have. This wisdom of life and death. He has become like us, knowing life and death. Okay. I want to look into this catalyst here for you, just quickly, and see what the catalyst was and has been for you. Seeing it maybe in a different way. Show me for Aries, please. Show me the past for Aries. Show me the past. Principle. Jupiter and Sagittarius. Wow. Talking about those ideas. This is Jupiter in the 9th, Jupiter in its own house here. This is like the art card. The Temperance card. That's slowing down. Having to slow down. Wow. Tauran energy here with this hat, this mitre hat. We have the dove again with this Venus with the olive branch in its mouth and the diamond and the earth, bringing this heavenly knowledge down onto the earth. And perhaps all of these experiences that you've had, this experience is what was necessary to bring you this knowledge of higher truths, where maybe in the past you weren't applying them in the ways that were healthiest for you somehow. There's a man here walking towards these gates. It's like the prodigal son returning home. It's like you're returning home. This 9 here, of course, of Virgo, of the Hermit as well. This wisdom. You've reached the top of that mountain, You have a different viewpoint now. You're seeing everything differently. Everything is different. It's like everything's slowed down right now into slow motion, whereas your nature has been, your will has been to go very fast. Well, this is an interesting. So we have flirtation, devotion, and publicity. That's interesting. So we have Venus in Sagittarius, Saturn in Libra, and Jupiter here in Leo. Okay, I can only read what the cards are saying. But through publicity, through the public, is going to lead to a love connection for you. Oh, hey! I startled. I'm gonna have to stop this, I guess, because it's just getting too loud in the house. Let me clarify this. Let me get this off this. Because this seems kind of out of place, and perhaps that's what it would be, this connection that kind of comes, that it's because this devotion card, this is love through time. You see someone's devoted, okay, let's look at them one at a time. It's devoted through death. A love that's devoted to you through death, through your experience. Please don't do that. This flirtation. Venus in Sagittarius is loving knowledge, is loving, I have Venus in Sagittarius, it's loving truth, learning, traveling, growing, expanding, being in love with knowledge. And not knowledge, but wisdom, just the essence of it, the beauty of it, the philosophy, loving it. That's what brings you joy. That's what you're devoted to. And here in this publicity, it's maybe sharing it, maybe needing to share your experiences with others. Sorry, these are newer cards to me, and we get kind of sidetracked sometimes just from the way that they look, but I'm still going to clarify them. Okay. What is this here for Aries? Maybe this experience is something that deepens your love connection, and sharing it helps you understand, it helps others to understand themselves, because when we're able to share our experiences with others, I always feel like, hey, I know that I'm not alone in some of these experiences, and some experiences are very sacred and very holy and we don't share them, but others can be shared. And in the world today, it's like inspiring one another through our experiences. Freedom. Okay. Can you clarify? Wow. So we have the Two of Swords reversed. We have the Six of Cups and the Sun, and the Knight of Swords with the Two of Cups reversed. I feel like you have a lot of love in your heart that you want to share, just the joy of sharing, talking about this Venus in Sagittarius, you love this expansion, you love life, and especially showing up here with this himself and the she who was kissed by the pixies, these energies of slowing down, being in the sun. If you're going too fast, you don't feel the sun, you only feel the wind. When you go too fast, you see, you only feel the wind. You're not able to enjoy love, to enjoy the experiences, these shared experiences, these emotional connections. The suits are like modes of consciousness, the cups. Are you conscious? Can you be conscious of your emotions when you're always moving? This Two of Swords is reversed. Not being able to be still. In the past, it's affected your connections. It's definitely affected your connections. Because I feel like you want to share that. You want to be able to connect with someone. You have it there. It brings you joy. It brings you joy. With the Venus in Sagittarian energy, we often, we meet our partners at long distances. They're from another culture, another race, another religion, some other way of believing, or finding your partner when you're traveling. She's playing music here. She has a bow. That's interesting. Loving to hunt, with this flirtation. Aries, it doesn't surprise me that you would love the chase. But all of these cards about the speed with which you've moved in the past, with your mind, your crystalline mind. You must be still for love, to experience it. You must be still. What an interesting read. And I feel like your experiences could affect your ability to connect with other people, because when you have experiences like this, when you know your own darkness, when you've faced your own death, and you've come to your center, to the core of your being, when you found yourself, there's an intensity there that not everyone can gaze upon this image. Not everyone can hold your gaze. They'll drop it, like I dropped the card. It's a certain intensity. There's pain here. Okay. This is a singer of transfiguration. The will. I've said in other readings that I've done for myself, the way that I feel is that the creation of the soul requires the blood of the heart. That can only be understood through experience, poetic as it may seem. I do feel like you're in the public eye somehow, though, with this publicity, this Venus in Leo. With this Jupiter in Leo here. You have a big heart. You want to have a family. You want to have a home. It's like, I was talking before there about this principle, about this diamond imagery of the earth. It's like you're on the earth and you're pointing at the stars. You're wanting to show people the stars because that's what feeds your heart. Another 5 here, this Hierophant energy. You may have Taurus, rising Taurus, or moon in Taurus, I would say. Okay. Let's get one of these. This is the I Ching Oracle. I feel like this is very specific. This is a very specific reading. Enthusiasm. Gate 16. The Tower. The Topsy-Turvets. Talking about how you're not afraid of that anymore. Skills. The skill for living life as art. The great art of enriching life by the harmonic channeling of energy. Experimentation to find the perfect, skillful expression. The great art of enriching life by the harmonic channeling of energy. And you found your harmony and stillness. Line 3 is independence. Line 2, the cynic. Line 1, delusion. The delusion of the past, talking about the lies of the shadow. Not being cynical. Like, everything is terrible and it's no point, and no point in showing people the stars because they're not even going to listen. They're not even going to care. Of course there's a point. Even if no one listens, the point is that you do it. Something is being shown. You're showing the way somehow. The flag of the sun. Sun in Aries, that rising. A lot of joy. Rising in joy. Aries, that arise. Back of this card. Hummingbirds. I always associate hummingbirds with Virgo. It's precise. It moves very fast, but it doesn't harm. It doesn't hurt. It's very skillful to extract that nectar. Interestingly, about hummingbirds, I want to say, like my stepmom, she has these hummingbird feeders. And she puts sugar and water, and it's like, well, we don't want them to drink sugar and water. But they'll drink it, and they'll eat it, and then they won't go to the flowers. So be careful where you go as well, that you know the difference. Know the difference between the true nectar and sugar and water. I want to check the frequency here, and then can you please not licky Lou Weasel? So strange that he wanted to be next to me. Pay attention to that, talking about nature. If you have a dog, listen, like the fool. Listening to nature, the guardians in the underworld, Anubis. A lot of messages here for you. I'm sure that I'm missing many, but hopefully you see and know for your own self. And Mercury is retrograding. It's a little chaotic. Just a chaotic reading and finding stillness in that chaos. When you just want to fly through it. You don't want to connect with anyone emotionally. But there must be balance. Must be balance. I'm a Libra, of course I would say that. Miracle. And crown chakra. It's a miracle. Your life is a miracle. What you survive is a miracle. No cross, no crown. And you have your crown. Integration below that. Wow. The frequency of miracle supports our belief in ourselves as a part of Source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. What do you believe to be possible? What is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you want to do now with your life? What have you achieved so far? Is it enough for you? Do you have happiness? I feel like family is very important to you. For some, I'm thinking of the 33rd degree of the Royal Archmasons. Masonry, building, as a builder. Building your own temple, taking care of your temple. What are your foundations? The topsy-turvets are like the tower. If you have faulty foundations, you cannot build up to the crown. It will fall, or it will be false. And, I was talking about the cynicism, so maybe where you've continuously had these experiences that you feel like you've always been in the dark, in the depths, it's like choking on the ashes and the dust of this desolation, you might not want to do it again. You might not want to move forward sometimes, and I don't feel like that's a feeling for you all the time. But we would be lying to ourselves if we said that we don't get downhearted, or we don't get disheartened, and what am I fighting for? What are you fighting for? For the stillness, for the integration into natural life, natural being, into health and wellness. Who knows why we're here, but we're here. How are you going to be here? It supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. Our ability to transmute negative energy into light. From all this death, desolation, and change. I want to get an animal energy for you. I don't want to stop this reading because I feel like it's so much that needs to be said. Oh no. I feel like everything that's happening in the environment is to disrupt this reading. We have the hawk, the bat, and the wolf. Wow, a lot of movement. Air and earth here. The speed of the mind, but feeling things in a different way with the bat, because the bat feels, you know. And I do feel like you are feeling now, and the way that you're communicating and moving now is different. I feel like this is separate to you. This is someone watching you. This is a feminine energy, watching out for you, looking over you. Oh no, bud. Here, come back over here. Don't walk on the cards. This wolf is waiting for you. Waiting for your stillness. This wolf is waiting for you in the stillness. Take that how it resonates. The hawk and the bat. There's a book from D.H. Lawrence called The Man Who Died. It's about the Jesus story. And in it he says, my way is my own alone. And I always associate that with the hawk. Is that my way is my own alone. That your way is your own alone. There's a lunar energy here with this bat. Real life, you know. I'm sorry. I don't think I'm even going to be able to post this, but I'm going to get through it. Yep. The world is communicating you. Spirit is communicating with you because the bat is psychic ability, psychic energy. It's like moon in the 8th house. Where's your moon? There's moon and Mars energy. Maybe you have moon and Mars conjunct in the 8th. Not being afraid of the dark anymore because you have eyes that can see. I want to get advice for you. Advice for you, Aries. I do apologize for the chaotic reading. Because your reading you'll have watched and you'll have understood and it will make sense to you. What's the advice for my Aries, please? Show me the advice for my Aries. What's the advice here for my Aries? Oh, wow. So we have the Ace of Swords, the Chariot, and the Magician reversed. With the Emperor. Okay. Let me see what's on the bottom of the deck here. The Sun reversed. King of Swords, the World reversed. I do feel like there could be chaos still. There's still parts of you that are chaotic. That it's important that you find your stillness as this leader, as this energy here. With courage, with bravery, with kindness. No matter what's happening around you. Because the Ace of Swords, the Chariot reverse, and the Magician reverses, it's like you're not able to move, you're not able to create, you're not feeling like you have the ideas. You know, the Sun reverse, if your world has been dark, I feel like you have really dark moments. You have really dark moments, and in those moments, it's important that you remember who you are. You can meditate on this image of Aries, of the Ram. Strong, silent, in control, fair. Nothing but difficulty getting this reading out. I feel like I want to read you something that I just read. I read this book before, but I don't know, 15 years ago, I guess. And I found it at the thrift store and I'm rereading it. And when I read it, I actually thought of the Emperor card. That leadership is a matter of intelligence, trustworthiness, humaneness, courage, and sternness. You know, talk is strategic assessments. Reliance on intelligence alone results in rebelliousness. Exercise of humanness alone results in weakness. Fixation on trust results in folly. Dependence on the strength of courage results in violence. Excessive sternness of command results in cruelty. When one has all 5 virtues together, each appropriate to its function, then one can be a military leader. And I think that's appropriate here for you, because there have been imbalances here in the past. Imbalances in the mind, the direction that you wanted to go, and how you're going to create that. A lot of physical health, psychological, some problems with mental stability, psychological stability. Yeah, behind the King of Swords, we have the World reversed, the Lovers reversed, and then we have the the Seven of Cups, the Seven of Swords. I feel like you're too much mind. You have to slow that mind down, because it's keeping you unclear. It's keeping you confused. It's keeping you stuck. You don't have clarity. And in order for you to get that clarity, you must stop. You can't go one direction, change, and turn around. You need to find a place and stay and be. And I feel like parts of you have, but it's been difficult. All right, let's close here with a shamanic healing card. I'm going to call this reading Order Out of Chaos, because that's how it feels. It's definitely how it feels. Just with everything that's even going on around in the house. And when I sat down to do the reading, it's going to be challenging, and it has been challenging. Your whole life has been challenging. Challenging you, preparing you for these moments, preparing you for right now, to find the stillness, to find that still point within you is your challenge. You have to find that needle in the haystack, the impossible. You must do the impossible to create yourself. I want to say that you need to transmute time. Healing energy. You're healing from the darkness. You're healing in the darkness as well. Darkness is not your enemy. I think you know that now. This is card 20, which is the Eon, the awakening, the rebirth, the reconnection to spirit. Within you, hearing that, feeling that, all around you. We have discernment on the bottom of the deck. Past, present, and future behind that, talking about something about you needing to transcend time. This discernment, card 6, there's a bird on a branch. A bird on a wire. Free. Thank you for watching, Aries. I hope that this has been helpful to you. And again, I apologize for the chaos in the background. I hope to see you again.